Some people say that this particular lady, Charlotte Moore, is the most powerful woman in television. Well, it's stretching it a bit. I've met Charlotte Moore, nice enough woman, but the most powerful woman in television? Not anymore. As ever, let me explain. Morning, good to see you. Thank you so much as ever for joining me today. We'll have a lovely wave from the very heart of Lambeth Palace. I hope you're all keeping well. And yes, it's night time, as you can see, chums, but it's nice, isn't it? Nice little reflection there of a wonderful historic building. Some people might say something might be very historic very soon. In fact, that is the sort of company that was known as the British Broadcasting Corporation, the BBC. Now, the head of the BBC, Charlotte Moore, she's responsible for all the programmes, all of that sort of stuff. Tim Davitt is the Director General, and after 19 years, she's decided to move off to join the production company that makes things like The Crown. Now, here's where it gets interesting because, as you notice, people in these high power positions, these jobs, always move off when it's the decline. You see, now it looks like there's going to be up to 1 million not paying the TV licence because they're disgruntled, unhappy, simply won't pay it, and not happy with what, well, Miss Moore is putting on those channels. Now, you can't really blame them, but as I said, what's fascinating is they always manage to move away just at the time of, when it's going wrong. So they get that wonderful pension. They've had 19 years of your money, BBC money, at great expense. But it gets even worse now, because when you think about it, if it could get any worse for the BBC, with people switching off in droves, as many people know over here in the Christian country, the BBC apparently have a religious editor. Not that you'd know it, of course, because now, you barely see anything related to Christianity on the BBC. Songs of Praise used to be a primetime Sunday evening thing. Not anymore. Stuffed away sometime on a Sunday afternoon if they can remember to make it. And apparently at times it's too costly. But it's not too costly for, get this, the BBC to broadcast live this particular bon mot. Live from Bradford Central Mosque, and following that, the final evening of Eid, all broadcast on prime time and on BBC iPlayer 2. Now, what's fascinating about this is it's all apparently wrapped up in the fact that Bradford is the city of culture this year. I know. Have you ever been to Bradford? A wonderful place in the northern heart of West Yorkshire, but sadly, certainly not the place it was. I would say it's an ideal spot to learn exactly how multiculturalism has truly failed, and it doesn't matter what banner they put on it, that's your problem. But the bottom line is that the BBC want to be all-inclusive. This is going to cost a sheer fortune with camera crews, rigging, staff, everybody being put up in hotels. You get the picture. So if you were pondering about whether you wanted to pay your BBC licence fee, and as I said, you have to be all-encompassing, but when you think about it, the other side of it, right, they have their channel, the BBC Asian Network. Why couldn't you simply stream it, say, through that on, a digital platform like YouTube? Why is the rest of the nation having to be subjected to this when you think about it, it's basically a Christian country. Very much a minority would be watching this particular programme or live event. But as ever, as I told you at the start, people like Charlotte Moore make these decisions at your expense. They're playing with your money, and quite frankly, do they care whether you watch or not? It's about ticking a box. What do you think? Neil Sean in the very heart of London.